So here's what happens with energy. Energy likes to move. Energy likes space to move. So we do postures like in yoga or stretches or different things that we do to create space for energy to flow. Energy flows in patterns. So it flows in specific directions, it flows in specific energy lines, certain directions. Energy flows in these patterns. Energy interacts with our environment, so it's always interacting with the people you're around, the thoughts you think, the foods you eat, the lighting you're under, the environment that you're in. Energy is always interacting, right? And always adapting and adjusting, moving, interacting. And it's interacting with our physical body. So our energy affects our physical body and vice versa. When we have something in our environment or our physical body or something that's affecting our energy, it can form a new habit pattern. So it's similar to water flowing, tree falls on the river, water makes a new way because it wants to move. Our energy does the same thing. It's flowing, something blocks it, too much up here, not enough down here. It's going to find a way to flow. Then we remove that obstacle, whatever it was. Maybe it was you were sitting under a fluorescent light for many, many years. Maybe it was, you had a bad relationship for many years. Maybe you were eating toxic food that wasn't metabolizing. Whatever it was, your body has been adapting and adjusting to whatever's going on, and it will form a new habit because it's like, well, I need to move, I need to flow. So I am going to find a new pathway to flow, to adapt to this, whatever's going on. Or I need some more energy, so I'm gonna take energy from another system somewhere else. So then you've got a system that's got too much energy and one that has not enough energy. And it's like, okay, this is working because you're alive. So I'm going to form this new habit pattern. So with the energy medicine, what we're doing is we're utilizing specific points, techniques, breath work to move our energy back to, repattern it back to its optimal alignment, back to its natural state so that our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies are all back in alignment. Groovy, huh?
Yes.
Like that, that's pretty groovy. So that's what we're doing. And here's what blows my mind, right? Like, I learned this stuff and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, that's it? Like, I'm just gonna tap a point? But I started doing it. And the proof was in the pudding. Like, I started doing this stuff on myself, holding a few acupressure points over time. And all of a sudden my hormones got better. And I tried all the Western conventional medicine, like doing a couple of exercises, and all of a sudden, like, my digestion has gotten better. My sleep, so these simple things that have profound effects because you're getting to the root cause of whatever's going on. You're getting to the underlying structure, which is energy. So triple burner, triple warmer. The 3 burners are in our torso. There's the lower burner in our lower abdomen, the middle burner, and the upper burner. And triple burner is, like I said, it's the general. It marshals all the other energies. It's the keeper of the habits. It keeps you alive. It cares about your survival. It's directly linked to the hypothalamus. So the subconscious mind can process, and I don't know the stat exactly. I have it written down somewhere. But the subconscious mind processes 2,000 or 20,000 pieces of information. I think it's 2,000 pieces of information per minute. It's always going on, the subconscious mind. The conscious mind processes, take a guess, 40 pieces of information. So the conscious mind is I see this person, she's wearing blue, where the subconscious mind is lighting, blue, taking in all this information. So triple warmer is this subconscious energy bodyguard. Triple warmer is what is going on, and it's always interacting, and it's directly related to the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is the region of the brain, that's our primitive brain, that controls the autonomic nervous system. So that's sympathetic versus parasympathetic. Sympathetic is the fight or flight response, parasympathetic is the rest and digest response. So triple warmer is oh my gosh, something's going on. Hypothalamus is oh, okay, I'm going to control the endocrine system. I'm going to get out of rest and digest, parasympathetic, and go into sympathetic. So here's what's going on this day and age. Triple warmer has not evolved to 2019. Triple warmer is still stuck in caveman time. So triple warmer is all the time thinking that there is, Yeah, all the time, like all the time. And that's why like we're seeing so many things with like digestive issues and autoimmune. All that stuff is triple warmer being overcharged. You know, and I don't know about you guys, but like there's so much of that mystery stuff that people are like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but something's not quite right. So a big piece of that puzzle is this triple warmer energy piece. So triple warmer is still stuck back in caveman time. And here's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn how to calm this energy system down, but not just calm it down. We're going to learn how to evolve it to 2019, right? So what does our body do when it registers stress? It kicks in, it goes from rest and digest parasympathetic over to sympathetic. It goes to fight or flight response, fight, flight, or freeze, right? So the first thing that happens when we go into fight, flight, or freeze is that blood leaves our brain and our digestive organs. So blood leaves our brain, it leaves our torso because it goes to our limbs so that we can fight or flee, like that. So triple warmer's like, oh, saber-toothed tiger. We're gonna go into sympathetic, fight, flight, or freeze response. So now we don't have any blood in our brain, it's all here. We don't have anything happening in our digestive region, can't digest. And that used to be great when the threat was a saber-toothed tiger and we needed to fight or flee or freeze. But most of the time, this day and age, our stress isn't caused by something that caused stress in caveman times. It's often caused by something that we do need to think our way out of, reason our way out of, not fight or flee our way out of. So the very first thing that we're going to do when we notice that we are stressed is repattern that energy flow and blood flow back to the brain. There are 2 points right on the forehead. They're right above the eyes, right in the middle of the forehead. They're very light touch hold points. These are called your neurovasculars. So they are the main neurovascular points located right in the middle of your forehead. So the very first thing you do when you're feeling stressed and you cannot remember anything else to do is you put your hand here on your forehead. No pressure, just light touch, because you're re-educating the blood flow and the energy flow to come back to the brain so that you can think your way out of a stressful situation. Number 2, so triple warmer as a energy line, as a meridian line, runs from the ring finger up the back of the arm, back of the neck, around the ear to the temple. So one thing we're going to do to calm triple warmer down is to trace it backwards, because it's almost always overactive, because it's like this, that, right? It's going on. So our triple warmer is oftentimes heightened. So one thing we can do to calm triple warmer down is to trace it backwards. So you guys try this with me. Take your hand to the opposite temple and just smooth behind the ear, down the arm, and off the hand. And you don't have to know like which finger it is if you forget. It's just very general, because our hands are electromagnetic and the energy will follow that. So we're gonna, calm it backwards. So one of the first places that triple warmer takes energy from is the spleen energy line. So when I say spleen, I'm talking about the Chinese meridian system. So I'm not necessarily meaning that it's taking energy from the spleen organ itself, but from the energy line that sources that organ. So that's one of the first places that triple warmer takes energy from, and that's the energy line that's responsible for our metabolism. So that's why when we're stressed, it's really hard to lose weight. Like people tend to hold on to this cortisol belly. It's like an adrenal and cortisol imbalance with triple warmer, with the hypothalamus. So we're gonna take and rebalance that triple warmer spleen energy. So one place we can access triple warmer is just above the elbow on the back of the arm. You're gonna hold there and you're gonna place your other hand, and it doesn't matter, it runs both sides. So you can do either side, you can do just one side or both sides. So put one hand on the body, put one hand on the back of the arm just above the elbow, and you can hold this for as long as you'd like. I would do this when I was sitting in meetings or on a phone conference or anytime. You know, you can do this riding the subway or whenever you can. And nobody knows what you're doing. You can sneak it in there. And this one helps to calm triple warmer down and rebalance it with the spleen energy. So again, you can do just one side, and that's totally fine. Or you can switch and do both sides, and it doesn't matter if you do which side you do first. The radiant circuits are the pathways of joy in the body. They are that person that walks in the room and just lights up a room. That's a person that has that radiant circuit energy turned on. And it's so cool that it's the very first energy system to form in the body, is the radiant circuits. And when we are in utero, those radiant circuits are lit up. We are in that fetal position. And it's the only time in our life when we just are. We're just being. We're not doing. Everyone just loves you just because you are, and you're just being. And that's that radiant circuit energy. And when we go back into child's pose, or anything that puts us in that fetal position, those radiant circuits remember that surrendering, that just existing, that being. Like, I always thought these were fleeting emotions to grasp onto, but you can actually tap into these pathways in the body and access them. And that's that joy, that people have that exists no matter what's going on outside of them, that joy that comes from inside. And it's joy, and it's also wonder and bliss and gratitude. So you can tap into that energy a few ways. One is child's pose. Another way is toddler's pose, or bum in the air. Another way that you can tap into it is anything that turns those radiant circuits on. So anything that brings you joy. That feeling of, that feeling of being in love when you first fall in love, that's radiant circuit energy. Watching a sunset. Impromptu dance parties when your jam comes on. That one, that turns on your radiant circuits. So anything you can do like that, that sparks joy in your life and your body, that comes from within. And the more you do it, the more it builds that habit field, and the more resilient those radiant circuits become. There are figure eights and crossovers that happen on every cellular and big level in the body and in the field. And the more of these crossovers that you have, the more resilient your energy is, the healthier, more joyful that you can be, the easier you heal. And the less crossovers you have, the harder it is to heal, the harder it is the more you are affected and impacted by everything that's going on in the environment and everything else. So to bolster these crossover patterns in the body, there's a couple things we can do. We learned one the other day with the crossovers. So ways that you can bolster these crossover patterns in the body is just doing anything that does figure eights. So drawing figure eights around the eyes is one really great place, because there's a lot of meridian and points all around here, and you're accessing that right-left brain crossover. So figure eights around the eyes are amazing to get those figure eights in the body. Just figure eights with the hips, figure eights with the arms, poi balls. If people do poi, they do a lot of figure eights with that, and that's all out in your auric field. So, we talk about love and we talk about hearts, and that's not what our actual physical heart looks like, but that is radiant circuit energy, is that heart energy. So we're going to do that now. We're going to trace hearts where they exist in the body with radiant circuit energy. Just tap in and see how you feel. So take your fingertips to your forehead and do a heart on the face, heart on the face, heart on the face. Bring your fingertips to your sternum, heart on the torso, heart on the body, heart on the body. And then 3 big hearts just in the field. Heart, heart, heart. Talked about triple warmer, which is this bodyguard, this keeper of the habits, this I'm the big strong guy, and I am gonna take energy from wherever else I need, to keep you alive. And then we've got this other energy system called the radiant circuits, which are the pathways of joy. We're going to take triple warmer, and we're going to evolve triple warmer into a radiant circuit. I know, right? This is the coolest thing. This exercise I've seen people do and have amazing benefits from getting out of all kinds of, depression and things like that, weight loss, without changing anything else, because you're balancing that fight or flight response in the body, you're balancing the hormones, So getting that balance can help to balance the weight, just sleeping better, all kinds of benefits from this exercise. So we're gonna do this one together. It's called Cover the Eyes, and it's a triple warmer radiant circuit exercise. So stand up and we'll do it together. We're getting the triple warmer traced backwards, and then we're accessing some radiant circuit flows, and then we're bolstering a spleen flow, which is our metabolism flow. So we're like combining lots of different elements to this one exercise. Okay, close your eyes, rub your hands together, create some heat between the palms, breathe. When you feel the heat between your palms, cup the hands over the eyes, cover the eyes, fingers resting lightly on the forehead, eyes relax. Releasing stress, eye strain. As the heat begins to dissipate, very lightly bring your fingertips down over the eyes, out to the temples. Eyes can be closed or open. Inhale, smooth the fingers up around behind the ears. Exhale, down the neck, hang on those upper trap muscles. Take a nice breath here, releasing any tension in the shoulders. Hands to opposite shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, smooth the hands, down the arms, off the fingertips, shake it off. Hands to your high waist. Inhale. Exhale, smooth down the front and outside of the legs, squeezing off the sides of the feet. Hands to the big toe. Inhale, smooth up the inside of the legs, out at the hips, up to the armpits. And exhale down and off the waist. I can't believe how simple this stuff is, right? Like you're like, really? That's what I'm doing? But it truly does, if you do it, work, it works to really, heal the body at the very, level of energy, right, which is the base level of everything else that happens. Thank you all for coming out and letting me share this work today. I cannot tell you how profoundly this work has changed my life. It only works if you do it, so go home and do it. Share it with others. Thank you very much.
Thank you.